Hey everyone, if you are joining me for the first time, my name is Adrienne and I empower moms to provide a stable and healthy environment for their children by supporting them through homeschooling and sharing ways to live toxin-free. I feel like my last few videos over the past few weeks that I've posted have been pretty heavy and a little bit long. So this one is going to be very light and kind of comical. So this one is all about food, because any homeschool mom knows that managing the groceries and your grocery budget is super challenging when you homeschool. And let me tell you why. This is every homeschool mom's struggle. The food is there and it is always available. It's not like in a traditional school where you're outside of the home and there's only certain times where you're able to have a snack or a meal. The cafeteria is only open a certain time, or some teachers have very strict rules about snacks in their classrooms for pests and other things and messes. So it's not always readily available, but when you are homeschooling, there is literally nothing holding you back from snacking all the time. And this can be a problem for the homeschool mom. This can be a problem for the homeschool kid. It can just be a little bit of a challenge to juggle. I know our pantry, I had to actually lock it because my youngest loves to go in there and grab things and tell me what she wants to eat, even if we literally just cleaned up from a meal. So with our food so readily available, because we do a lot of school in our home, just because we homeschool doesn't mean we're always in our home. Sometimes we're doing it in the car or a park or outside, but most of the time we're in our home where all of our food is also. So this can be very challenging to regulate, to manage. So I'm just going to share kind of how I manage it throughout the day, and hopefully you glean some tips that you can apply to your day as well. Homeschool life, right? So sometimes it's just too tempting and we just can't even help ourselves. And moms can also be guilty of this. It's not just the kids. So I like to try and do a structured time for eating and snacking. And that just helps with my sanity, because my kids will literally ask for a snack while I am cleaning up the breakfast dishes. Like, we've literally gotten up from the table and I am cleaning up the dishes of the meal that we just ate, and they're asking for a snack already. So if I was to say yes every time they ask for a snack, like we would never leave the kitchen. We would be in the kitchen all day because that's all they want to do. There's so many parenting memes out there that are hilarious, like comparing a kid's meal stomach to their snack stomach. And there was one about homeschooling, the most expensive item while you're homeschooling, and like curriculum was crossed out. I forget all the other things crossed out, and then groceries was circled. And it's so true, just because it's accessible. So we, in our home, this is how we manage food and not eating all day long. So breakfast we have at the table together. As soon as the kids get up, they go to the breakfast table, and I like to batch my breakfast. So we make a ton of like waffles or pancakes. I try and throw some like we call them egg muffins. They're really like egg frittatas or egg bites. It's like scrambled eggs with some cheese and meat in a little muffin thing. So I make a ton of them whenever we're getting low, and then we have that surplus that we just throw it in our toaster in the morning, and it's a quick breakfast. My kids eat the most at breakfast time. They're not all real big on lunch and even dinner, but breakfast is their meal. So we've got to make sure we have lots of options. We usually always have at least 3 or 4 options for breakfast. So as soon as they get up, they eat breakfast. And then I start my homeschooling. Then I will do our devotional and our read aloud, and we do classical conversation. So I will also do our memory work at the table with them while they're finishing up breakfast. My middle likes to spend like an hour eating. So if I didn't start at the breakfast table, it would just prolong our day. And I like to try and be done by lunch, so that way it's not rushed. So we start school at the breakfast table while they're finishing up, because they like to linger at the table, which is fine. And we're in our jammies, totally fine. Then normally I will, after that, we'll get ready, and then we'll get back to school and we'll do our pledges and all that. And then I'll let them take a snack kind of when I feel like they need a brain break. So if we've been working for a bit, maybe they are close to being finished with an assignment, my oldest is working on like her independent work and she just needs a break, then we'll do a morning snack. And I usually try and keep this one light so it doesn't ruin their lunch. We might snack on yogurt or some fruit. It's best to eat fruit alone and not with other things. Side note for just proper digestion. If you eat lots of things and fruit sits on the top of your stomach and kind of ferments while your stomach is breaking down the tougher things like protein and carbohydrates. So it's really best to eat fruit all by itself without anything, not even like fruit dips, like straight fruit by itself. So if we snack, we'll usually do fruit or yogurt. Sometimes I'll make them a smoothie with like frozen fruit and yogurt. And then I'll throw some powder in there. We've got some turmeric powder that I use. And then there's some greens that has like all kinds of green leafy vegetables in a powder form. Sometimes I'll throw chocolate in and try and limit that, especially with it being in the morning. And then milk. Sometimes I'll throw spinach in there. So they're getting the nutrients and it's a fun snack. So we'll do a smoothie and like nuts or something. And that is their snack in the morning, maybe when they need a brain break, or maybe if someone's complaining that they're hungry and we're not quite finished with school, so I don't really want to jump into lunchtime. Then we'll finish school, hopefully, and we do lunch. So lunch for us usually looks like leftovers. I love to eat leftovers. Sadly, my kids do not. So I usually just warm up whatever we have left over from dinner the previous night. My girls love to have wraps, peanut butter and jelly, of course, and like cheese and crackers. So sometimes I'll make them like almost a little miniature charcuterie board version on their plate. They love raisins and nuts and cheese and crackers, so sometimes we'll do that. Sometimes I'll just make them like a wrap or a sandwich. I always try and include some kind of vegetable. They're really on this celery kick lately. We do celery and peanut butter sometimes, or carrots. They love cucumbers. However I can throw that in. And we try and prep as much ahead of time as we can, so we get the really big blocks of cheese and I slice it all at one time and keep it in the fridge. So when it's lunchtime, I'm not sitting there slicing cheese because it just drags the whole process on. And by that point of the day, I'm pretty tired because I've been going all morning, getting house stuff done and doing school and all of that. So it's nice to just kind of and just grab things out of the fridge and throw their lunch together. Sometimes we will do applesauce. I'm trying to think of what else they love to eat. And then I have found some things that are kind of snacky, but also pretty good for you. Like they love plantain chips, which is better than just a potato chip because it's the plantain, so you're getting the extra nutrients in there. They actually do like, gosh, what's that brand? It's like little rice. It looks like a little tiny rice cake, but it's like the thinness of like a cracker. I can't remember the names, but anything that I can throw in there that's somewhat healthy, I try to whenever I can. But lunch is really our big meal in the afternoon. They usually start asking around 11, and I usually try and hold them off until 12, 12:30. Sometimes it doesn't work. So then after we have lunch, they go for quiet time. So my youngest will take a nap, and then my older two will do something quiet for a couple hours and give me opportunity to do this, like videos and office work, tidy up any things that I need to at the house. And then after quiet time is over, we'll take a snack. Maybe I make them something like a charcuterie board. Maybe it's just popcorn or something light. Again, I don't want to fill up their tummies for dinner. It's something just real simple because at this point in the day, I'm pretty exhausted. My rough times of the day are hit around 4 o'clock when I've been going all day and I know I have to start thinking about dinner. So this snack time is usually something super simple. Sometimes they'll just do some veggies and hummus dip in the fridge, or they might just grab an apple from the fridge, something that is light, not too sugary, and easy. And then dinner, I love to try and batch cook as much as I can because dinner can be exhausting, and that's usually meltdown time for my littlest. So whenever I can simplify dinner, it's always amazing. I like to do batch cooking too. So like I was talking about with the pancakes, making a ton of it and freezing some. I will double and sometimes triple recipes. I always do that when I make ziti, because when you're already making it, it's not that much extra work to just double and triple it. You're already doing it, you're just making more. And then you have those meals in the freezer that you can pull out super easy. You just thaw it and bake it and it's ready. And you don't have all that labor. It's not labor intensive because it's already done. You already did the work, and then you eat it that night, and then you have a couple extra meals to throw in the freezer. We have an Instant Pot, so I love to do Instant Pot recipes, or it can also be used as a slow cooker. So throwing something in the morning, and then it's just sitting there and you get that delicious smell all day, and then it's ready to eat. We have a bread maker, so sometimes we'll make rolls. Sheet pan dinners are always fun. So you just get a sheet pan and you throw veggies and meat on it and just throw it in the oven. So really the only prep that you have is cutting up things, like washing your vegetables and cutting them if you need to. And sometimes I'll slice the meat depending on how thick it is. And then you just throw it in the oven and like, forget about it. Set your timer so you don't really forget about it, but it's very low key for those dinners when you just feel like you don't have anything left. And then we do a pizza movie night every Friday night, which is fun for the kids, and also alleviates any thought process for dinner, because I know it's going to be pizza. So that's kind of how we do food in our house. And then once dinner is cleaned up, I don't allow them to have any like bedtime snacks or anything like that. The only thing they're allowed after dinner, sometimes we'll do dessert. Most of the time it's just drink some water if you're still hungry, I'm sorry. And that might be terrible, but I can't handle doing another snack or another cleanup once I've finally gotten the kitchen cleaned up from dinner. So that's how we roll on our normal typical days. Of course, things happen and we go different places and our schedule may be off. We might go to the library one morning, so instead of doing a smoothie, I might pack them some granola bars for the ride home in the car. That's another thing. If we go on a trip for any amount of time, I usually have at least one snack prepared because they're always hungry, right? We know kids are always hungry. And it's nice to have things that are pre-packaged for that. I usually try and stay away from packaged things, and we try and make as much as we can here. But sometimes the convenience is just so nice. Just grabbing a cereal bar or an individually bagged package of like chips or something. It's just nice to have the convenience of grabbing that, and then I can have my oldest pack snacks and she can just grab some things if we're running out the door. We also have like little reusable zipper bags that we can fill. Sometimes I'll do like a trail mix with like nuts and chocolate chips and marshmallows and plantain chips. And we'll just throw it in the little zipper pouch, and that's a good snack to grab. It is nice to have options because sometimes your kids will get tired of the same snack, as long as they're not super picky and they are willing to try new things. You can kind of customize like the little trail mix to their liking. I have two of mine really love almonds and one not so much, so we do different nuts in the bags. But just having a plan and having some sort of structure has been super helpful, because before I implemented this, it didn't really have a set plan, a set schedule, and it got a little crazy. It got a little like we were eating all the time, and then mealtime would come and they wouldn't be hungry, shocker, because they were snacking all day. So I feel like it is important to have a schedule. It is important to kind of set boundaries so they aren't snacking all day, not only for your sanity, but also for their tummies. It's good to give your stomach a break. It's good to give your mouth a break. One dentist one time told me that it takes an hour for your mouth to restore to where it's supposed to be after you drink or eat anything. So if you're sipping on tea for like 3 hours, your mouth never has a chance to get back to where it's supposed to be, and you're just inviting some not so nice things into your mouth at that point because your body can't restabilize itself. So not snacking all day. Having structured time has been super helpful with managing food and then just helping our homeschool day flow quickly. I said that was going to be a light video, and here I am almost 15 minutes. I'm so sorry. I have lots to say. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that gave you some value and maybe some tips that you can try. If you have some other tips that I missed, I'd love for you to shoot me a message or drop them in the comments. food is really a struggle when it's all around and always available, right? So anything that I think you can do and be intentional about it is going to help in your homeschool day and just help things run so much smoother.